Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We've long had rumoured the return of Planet of the Apes. And in fact, actually, this dates all the way back to the initial proposals of the Disney Fox acquisition. We heard from Snider, I believe it was, where she announced a whole numerous bunch of properties. Alien was among them. All basically rumoured for reboots or continuations. It wasn't 100% clear cut. And the thing with Disney is, you just didn't know what they were going to do. Now, it does seem to be that Planet of the Apes is not going to be a reboot, says Wes Ball. So this is interesting for a few reasons, because where are they going to go now with the Planet of the Apes franchise? Now, stop. I know where they could go. They could literally just circulate back around and have the astronauts come back down. Of course they could. And I think that's probably wise. I think, why not? Why not? Why not tell the same stories again? And the reason why a lot of people will probably question why I'm saying this is because obviously, you know, we talk about reboots and things like that being real bad. And is that sort of a reboot in and unto itself? Yeah, kind of. Because you've got to remember, this is a reboot or a prequel reboot. And if they were to then circulate back around and do, you know, almost a Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes, then you are entering into remake territory, I guess. But I say, why not? Because this is a reboot anyway, right? What we've already seen is a reboot, so why not continue it? At least you're in one continuity at that point. You know, you're tying it all together and then simply remaking the stuff that we've seen before. Bearing in mind, you've got to remember that those movies have not been watched by many people of the current generations that are out there. Those films were huge. They were absolutely massive. And I remember them being on TV all the goddamn time. I loved them. I absolutely loved them. Did find them quite comical here and there. But they were fantastic. And the modern generation has not had a chance to actually watch them properly. And again, I know like a lot of people will question me and go, what are you talking about, Mr. H? No, it's true. Genuinely, they haven't. So I say, why not continue it? Why not? They've rebooted it anyway, so they might as well just continue on to the remake of what we've already seen before. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. Bring a different flair to it. And again, I know, like I say, a lot of people will go, what are you talking about? It's a reboot, it's a reboot. But otherwise, you've just got two reboots happening. At least with this one, it's a reboot of the originals going into a remake of the originals. That works, to me, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below. But anyway, like I said, this came to us from Wes Ball. Now, back in December, we saw the word that Wes Ball will be directing a new Planet of the Apes movie. However, at the time, it was unknown if it would be a continuation of the Matt Reeves films, a remake or a reboot. Now, while responding to an erroneous rumour that the new Planet of the Apes would be a reboot, Wes Ball, who is known for the Maze Runner movies, which is not a huge thing to be known for, sets the record straight. Also, I've got to say, to go from Matt Reeves to Wes Ball, I'd say that's a bit of a drop down in quality. I mean, Maze Runners were not particularly great. But anyway, he said, it's never been easier for film journalists to actually get in touch with the actual people who actually know. But maybe it's the point to not fact check these days. Regardless, don't worry, I won't ruin the surprises, but it's safe to say Caesar's legacy will continue. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, Wes Ball tackling Planet of the Apes. Obviously, look, while Wes Ball didn't reveal too much, it could be possible that Ball is doing some sort of remake of the original 1968 movie, which starred Charlton Heston, but in the universe created by Rupert Wyatt. Rupert, it is Rupert, isn't it? Rupert Wyatt, Matt Reeves featured Caesar. Now, again, that's the way forward, I would say. I would say that is the way to go. Do that. Have a remake of Charlton Heston's Planet of the Apes, but in the rebooted universe. I think that's good continuity. Now it says, regarding why Matt Reeves isn't doing any new Planet of the Apes films, Reeves is directing The Batman starring Robert Pattinson, which might see Reeves do a new Batman trilogy. So if they waited for Reeves to return to the Apes franchise, it could be near 10 years. Disney acquiring the rights to the Planet of the Apes franchise with the recent purchase of Fox Studios, and while at Fox, the previous 3 Planet of the Apes movies generated $1.68 billion at the box office. People really underestimated Planet of the Apes. they have just churned out some really good profit for Fox. They've done really well. They've just kind of trundled away. People sit on them. They don't go, it's Planet of the Apes. They just have always done all right. It's, you know, I get it because I love it, but it's one of those interesting things that in the world of comic book movies and things, you don't quite expect it. Now, it says that there were 5 films involved with the 1968 original and one and done Tim Burton and Mark Wahlberg flick from 2001. Wes Ball's Planet of the Apes has no release date as of yet. So this is all in massive pre-production at this point in time. Of course it's in pre-production. But like I say, I wouldn't say this is 100% clear-cut as yet. We don't have release date. We don't have production start date. We don't have anything. And they seem to be just tackling it from the approach of, we've got these plans, like anyone would be. We've got plans in place. We're trying to learn along with it nicely. But there's no start date for any of this stuff. So this could change. But I think that this is the way forward. I think have them remake Charlton Heston's. I don't see anything wrong with that in any way, shape or form. In fact, I would say that that's definitely the way forward. And like I say, again, I know a lot of people will question why. But it makes sense to me. It makes sense. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Now, if you're like a fan of the originals, what would you want them to include and what would you want them to exclude? And would you want them to have anything from the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movie that they had? I'd love to know. And we know that they've had these things have been teased for a little while now. That they could have gone back and looped around. They kind of teased that in the Matt Reeves reboots, or remakes, whatever you want to call them. But I think that's the way forward. So also the other thing here, right? This is the other massive thing, which might be in the title or might not. But if they are continuing, and this is Disney, you've got to remember this is Disney owning Fox. If they are continuing Planet of the Apes because they know that it generates money, right? What does this tell us about the Alien universe? What does it tell us about what they're going to do with the Alien universe? Because remember, Planet of the Apes and Alien were all teased in the same sentence when all of this information came out initially, that they were going to be continuing or at least looking to still use these franchises. And I'm pretty sure it's by Stacey Snider. I need to take a look at that, but I'm fairly certain it was. Now, the only difference here between the two is that Planet of the Apes is more profitable. It is a profitable franchise. Whereas Alien, Prometheus was profitable. Unfortunately, Alien Covenant was not. So, what does that tell us that they're going to do? And what does that mean for the future of the Alien franchise? Because on one hand, you would look at it and you go, right, well, they're talking about, in the same sentence, they use Planet of the Apes, is now that the fact that they're not rebooting that, they're just continuing it, right? The same story, they're continuing it. That's promising. That is hugely promising for the future of the Alien franchise. But then on the other side of it, we have the fact that they're two polar opposites, because one was R-rated, Alien. I'm fairly certain Planet of the Apes were 15 or 12, so like PG-13 area, /R, but not. Again, need to double check that as well. But they're still opposites. They also have a completely different sort of fan base. And not only that, they've had different, hugely, wildly different profit margins. One, not going into pretty much any profit. So what does this tell us about that? Now, I would say that actually that's more promising than anything else, because Disney will look at the overall track record of Alien across the years and go, right, well, on a whole, it's a profitable franchise. Yes, Planet of the Apes is a more recent franchise, but Alien has a legacied profit against it, and also a huge merchandise. I don't think there is any merchandise really for Planet of the Apes, whereas Alien has a huge merchandise behind it. Massive. I'm not saying like their Star Wars numbers massive, but they're still massive, and Disney will factor that into it. So, two-pronged approach to this video, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because it is interesting nonetheless. So let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I've been Mr. Age. Take care.